Good evening, everyone. We ask that you take your seats now and silence all electronic devices. Please direct your attention to the video monitors for a message from our own Hugh Pollack.
Erev Tov, Bruchim Habayim. It is my great privilege to welcome you to tonight's TMV Gala. It's also my great pleasure to be able to do this from home and not from a hospital. Hini Matov U'Manayim. How wonderful it is for all of us, our TMV family, to gather together to rejoice and celebrate, exuding our great strength and resilience as a community. We have the opportunity tonight to recognize three of our outstanding devoted TNB family members, each of whom represent the generational diversity which we cherish, but who also represent the highest level of volunteerism, each of them devoted in contributing so much to our community. Before I introduce our master of ceremonies for this evening, the incomparable David Pastilnik, I would be remiss, however, if I did not say a few words about my extraordinary friend, colleague, teacher, and mentor, Beth Mann. No one deserves this lifetime honor more than Beth, who has turned this down countless times over the decades. Her CV alone of extraordinary Jewish leadership through countless Jewish organizations and communities is endless, and would fill and continue to fill many lifetimes. I don't know if many know this story about Beth, but Beth's mom, Sadie, who was quite a feminist, wanted Beth to become a rabbi. And so early on, she brought her to listen to one of the great speakers, rabbinic speakers, who was head of homiletics at JTS. She wanted to show Beth what it was like. She brought her to his service. The rabbi very pompously gave this beautiful talk, and Sadie brought Beth up to meet him afterwards. And Sadie said, "Rabbi, my daughter is hoping to become a rabbi when she grows up, just like you." And he said, Beth, he says, I do this every week. I give these great talks, through the year. What do you think of tonight's talk? And Beth said, I thought it was pretty good. But my question is, what do you do the rest of the week? And the rabbi leaned over to her and whispered, "Kid, you don't want to be a rabbi. You want to be a shul president." On reflection, what this story epitomizes is that Beth has the unique ability to most eloquently articulate a vision and goals when one sees her in action in public, on Shabbat, if you will, but also understands that the hard, gritty work of negotiating in politics must take place during the week, often behind the scenes. The greatest vision is ultimately meaningless unless you bring people along with you on your mission and together bringing it to fruition. She uses politics in the best sense of the word, the art of putting the right people and organizations together, connecting and networking to make things happen, transforming organizations, and creating new ventures. She single-handedly created a high holiday community here because that's what was needed. We met at TMV when I was a resident at Beth Israel and she was at Cardozo Law School. And we hit it off immediately, appreciating the humor and fun we could have in moving our shul forward. I will never know how she let me convince her to play some crazy Purim roles and wearing crazy costumes while recording Purim spiel song parodies at 2 a.m. But Purim was our incubator, realizing that we could also accomplish so much more together through other vehicles. As Wexner Fellows together, our eyes were opened further, imagining a future of the Jewish community without bounds. It was so impactful for Beth that she gave up her law career to move into senior Jewish leadership positions, always at the cutting edge, pushing the envelope. At times we mentored each other. I will always be indebted to her for the support and confidence, teaching me so much by example about leadership. And when I was painfully shy early on, she taught me that it was okay to make fun of myself publicly and put myself out there. I believe that we pushed each other to new and greater heights. She has been truly family to Martha and to me, and to David and Deborah. And of course, our moms, Sadie and Goldie, became a natural. I am so grateful that she finally relented to be honored tonight. I know that she did not do so because of ego or the need for recognition. Rather, she finally accepted because she realized how our presence would inspire others and provide needed funds and resources for an institution and community which she treasured and loves dearly. For someone who still doesn't read correct Binder Torah Trop, all I can say is it's about time. Mazal Tov, and Beth reveled tonight in the most deserving outpouring of admiration and love and affection. Kol hakavod, Beth.
Kol hakavod indeed. Good evening, town and village. Welcome, honored guests, and thank you all for joining us tonight, both in person and on Zoom, to celebrate our beloved T&V community, its achievements, its resilience, and to honor several individuals who, well, to be quite frank, excel so much at what they do that honestly, personally, I feel a little attacked. You know, a bit inadequate. I'm sure it's not intentional, nothing mean-spirited, just, your awesomeness feels, it's a bit much, to be honest. But I'm not going to hold it against you. I know you can't help it. T&V does that to people. It brings out our best, makes us want to try harder, work harder, make things special and beautiful and meaningful. And why, you ask? We have always been a synagogue that's welcoming, with an atmosphere that's friendly, kind, and proud. We have always been a synagogue that's welcoming, so Hamish and freundlich and loud, looking for a congregation in perpetual conversation. It's all here at T&V. Chalatats and adult learning, compost bins and mitzvah earning. It's all here at T&V. If you know your Torah trope, then someone will make sure you're roped in for a parsha, maybe 3. If for recipes you're itching in our new refurbished kitchen, you'll be meshing with the whole mishpacha. It's all here at T&V. Lavish kiddush celebrations, ASL interpretations. It's all here at T&V. Do you love a morning minion or unsolicited opinion? It's all here at T&V. Do you need B'nai Mitzvah lessons catered by delicatessens with some decaf Lipton tea? If you need some spiritual healing, kosher wine or Purim spieling, you'll be kvelling with the whole chavurah. You'll have nourished your refreshed neshama. You'll be meshing with the whole mishpacha. It's all here at T&V. Thank you so much. And please give it up for Scott Stein on the piano. And now, without further ado, please direct your attention to the video monitors as we present the evening's first tribute.
Sarah Jane is radiant, and it comes from her heart.
She is tremendously energetic, very creative, very generous of her love and time for everybody.
Suki is a great aunt, literally and figuratively. I would describe her as a maker of moments.
She has been and continues to be an amazing teacher, mentor, and mother figure to me.
I would describe her as the epitome of elegance and efficiency and charm.
Her style and grace are unmatched and leave me in awe.
She has worked really hard behind the scenes for each and every program that we do, from the largest programs, including the gala, which she usually helps organize, to the Cantor Moss Memorial Concert, which I work with her, and she works with our concert chairs and team of co-chairs.
Anytime the congregation sees food anywhere, Sarah Jane's behind the scenes on that, whether it's organizing a caterer or if we're doing it in-house.
If someone isn't able to sit Shiva in their own home, they will sit Shiva in the chapel, and she will be sure to make sure that they have what they need. She helped me at the time of my daughter's Benot Mitzvah, and she wanted to make sure we had whatever tablecloths we needed, the flowers that we needed, and she does that for every single person who has a simcha.
I can tell you when I was first particularly impressed with Sarah Jane, we had a basement with decades of stuff, all the books and other things that had accumulated over the years had to be gotten rid of, and this needed organization. And Sarah Jane took on this project single-handed, and she made sure that that basement was absolutely empty. She was very much behind the scenes in the design phase of it, particularly the kitchen, where she helped choose materials, but also where everything was going to go. And she's responsible for the smooth running of this facility now.
Before the holidays, she'll come in, usually with a friend, and they polish the silver on the Torahs. Then all people see when they open the Ark is that it just looks beautiful. And they might not know that Sarah Jane did that.
She hasn't always had an easy life. She's a cancer survivor, but she's about as strong a person as you will ever meet. And she gets through everything and moves on.
You can feel a sense of a divine spark in Sarah Jane. There's a Torah quote that comes to mind, and I'll just kind of paraphrase it for Sarah Jane. Out of chaos, she creates order and hospitality and beauty and warmth.
Sarah Jane, you are amazing. I am so fortunate to have you in my life. You have taught me so many things. I can't even measure all of them.
You make it all happen. You make it all beautiful. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Sarah Jane, and Mazel Tov.
I would like to wish Suki a Mazel Tov.
We feel so blessed to have you in our lives, and this is an award that is so well deserved. Much love.
I call Sarah Jane Lady Bird, and if you know the reference, she spent some time in Texas. Lady Bird Johnson was the beautifier of the environment, and she believed in conservation as much as she believed in beautification, and that is the essence of Sarah Jane. She cares as much about where we throw the garbage as what everything looks like when it's plated on the table. It's always beautiful. She is an amazing wonder to me and to all of us, a treasure. We love her, and this is a gift for her.
We have one more gift for you, though. Oh, you can open them all together.
Can I say something? She is the best boss in the kitchen. Very organized, very strong.
beautiful book on Jews and Ukrainians. Дякую. Дякую. So now you know the secret's out. My name is Sookie. Nobody in the family calls me Sarah Jane unless they're really pissed. Then it's Sarah Jane. So, let's see, go over here a little. I need some nitro. Anybody? My heart is just going crazy. A girl walks into a shul, and 33 years later is on the bema giving thanks for a most wonderful honor. Many thanks, Town and Village Synagogue, for being my spiritual home, for our outstanding clergy, Rabbi Siebert and Cantor Postman, and gratitude to this congregation who has become family over the years. The videos and comments by my toasters and roasters are truly overwhelming. Thank you, and the checks are in the mail. The generous contributions in honor of Beth, Ben, and me are testament to T&V's enduring place in the Jewish community of New York City and beyond. I grew up in a family devoted to their shuls. Zeta Mordcha, blessed memory, was shamus at the Lloyd Street Synagogue, now the Jewish Museum of Maryland in Baltimore. Grandmother Sadie Sachs sang with Hugo Weisskall's choir at Chizkamuna, also in Baltimore. And Dad, Julian Sachs, wore many hats at the Beth Israel Synagogue in Roanoke, Virginia, including house chair and ritual committee. I'll go for house chair. I will not go for ritual. I'm sorry. I have to draw the line somewhere. My sister Hannah and her husband Daniel have been spiritual leaders to many throughout the United States and Canada for many years. And then there's me. I've shared my love of organization and decor and hope it has brought joy to those who enter this house of worship and beehive of activities. Thanks to all who participate in projects, especially the recent renovation and restoration. There were boxes packed and bags filled, out with the old, in with the new. The collaboration and efforts of many breathe new life into our vintage building. To our gems, as a former Tiffany employee, my special people are my gems. Taras, Daria, Nadia, and Walter. Where Taras is hiding, but Walter couldn't be here, unfortunately. You keep us safe, comfortable, and very well fed. Dyakuyu, which is thank you in Ukraine. Thanks to our gala chairs, co-chairs, committees, board of trustees, Debbie Hirschman, Louise Sherby, the hardest working woman I know. Joanne, where are you? Joanna Eisenberg for learning the ropes so quickly. She's up there. Lindy Kaiser, Sharon Keller, Joan Ashner, Roberta Alpert, and the fabulous Pat Schatt for gala prep while I pretended to rest. The TMV choir, who I know will be up here very soon. Thank you, thank you. Gala volunteers, the Kiddush crew. Kiddush crew is essential to our life here. And Scout Troop 422, without whom the basement would have never been emptied. The best. To my family and friends who came from far and near, I love you, and to all those online too. If I left anyone out, you're in my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And P.S. Happy anniversary today to Glorious Gloria and sensational Sheldon Moline. 71 years. And I always and I always know how old I am by how many years they've been married. So another secret is out. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations again, Sarah Jane. In the centerpiece flower arrangement of life, Sarah, you are the statement vase, holding it all together. And now the time has come to present T&V's first ever Lifetime Achievement Award. While no doubt this individual has much more life ahead and will achieve even more, we thought we'd put a pin in all this achieving for a moment in order to give her this recognition. This person has created a positive impact on the entire Jewish community for many, many years, not only at Town and Village, but at such venerable institutions as the 14th Street Y and the Jewish Federation of North America, to name just a few. And this person has a name, and that name is Beth Mann. So, Tonight we have invited two special guests to offer us just a glimpse into the many ways that Beth has helped to create positive change and to improve the lived experience of Jews in our nation and beyond, along with a special tribute video. The video will be introduced by Eric Robbins, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta. Following the video, we will hear some additional remarks from Gail Norrie, co-chair of the Board of the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia. Mr. Robbins.
Good evening and thank you. More importantly than the CEO of Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta, a very, very dear friend and colleague of Beth Mann. Beth, a lifetime of achievement. What a recognition for someone who lives a life of service and dedication to the Jewish people and mankind. Nearly 30 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Beth. It was 10 years into my career. I was a camp director transitioning to a new role as the assistant director of the Educational Alliance, overseeing our programs for community services. That included the Saul Goldman 14th Street Y next door. Beth was the director. I remember the early days of that role in my first meetings with Beth next door at the Y. Beth told me, "You have a really big job. Don't worry about me. Focus on your other challenges." But being the trained Jewish communal worker that I was, I knew the importance of the supervisory relationship. And I was persistent with Beth to develop that relationship where I could support her, guide her, and advocate for her. You're going to hear a lot of amazing things about Beth in the next few minutes. But let me say one thing about her. She's not easy to supervise. Beth has a commitment to excellence, a commitment to people, and a passion to let nothing stop her. If you send Beth an email, it could be a simple email, asking her a question, in reply you're going to get a several paragraph, perfectly formatted, eloquently written case as to why she's right, and usually she is. ChatGPT has a long way to go for being as quick and as accurate as Beth Mann. I loved working with Beth Mann. Beyond her excellence, beyond her drive, I came to know Beth's neshama. Beth is a caring and compassionate friend, a talented teacher, a mentor, and inspiration. Beth lives her life in service to others, and her deep love for the Jewish people is relentless. And it so importantly reminds all of us of our obligation as Jews to do good in the world and to make the world a better place. Beth understands the centrality of building community, and she builds community like nobody else. She's a master at building community. The teams that Beth has overseen in her professional life, who are no longer working together, are still connected like family. That doesn't happen everywhere. They call each other, they stay connected, and these are folks living throughout the globe. Beth's impact is enduring and can be seen everywhere. Her family, her friends, this shul, the 14th Street Y next door, the Wexner leadership programs, and countless other places. Beth, you are a dear friend to me. You are a mentor to me. You have helped me through personal decisions. You have helped me through every professional decision I've made since I've met you. And it is so much a meaningful honor to me to be here tonight, to be part of this tribute to you as a lifetime of achievement. Thank you.
Beth Mann is a wonderful person.
I have to put on a big smile when I think about my friendship with Beth.
Beth is the best person we know. She is the most giving, conscientious.
She is kind and caring and so sincere and so passionate about the things she believes in.
I see Beth as one of the hearts of Town and Village Synagogue.
Her whole life is about service. Everything she does is for this synagogue or for other communities elsewhere.
Beth Mann is an amazing Jewish visionary woman.
Beth really understood, and of course I think still understands, how the fabric of the Jewish people all is woven together and fits together.
She really does believe in gathering those who may not feel connected to synagogue life in such a way that they return.
25 years ago or more, we decided that rather than turning people away on the high holidays, that we would start a second high holiday service that was open to the community. And Beth raised her hand and said, I'll be the chazan.
And for the last 25 years, if you can believe it, I've been running the community service alongside my dear friend Beth Mann.
She's really touched on every aspect of the synagogue. She's served as a gabbai, she's a Torah reader, she's a Haftorah reader. She's been an usher.
Beth Mann grew up at Town and Village Synagogue. She was the first woman to read Torah here. She was our president. She served on our board of trustees. She is an advisor personally to me.
She's been involved on many boards, the Solomon Schechter, she's currently involved there. JPRO, Project Kesher, which funds and supports Ukrainian Jewish women. She's also worked as a consultant for other Jewish organizations such as JCCA. She's worked with the National Ramah Commission. And then, of course, she was very involved in JFNA for all the years that she worked there, the Jewish Federations of North America.
And actually, Beth is responsible for our being here at Town and Village Synagogue. I was looking for a new job. So she began telling me about Town and Village Synagogue. She captured the heart and the essence of this community because it was so much her, so much of who she is. This volunteer-based, really committed group of people that really love being Jewish and love being part of this community. And she sold me like that. 32 years later, I'm delighted that that happened.
Beth, what you've done for the shul over the years is a miracle to us.
Mazel tov.
We just want to wish you a big, wonderful mazel tov.
Mazel tov, Beth.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Beth.
Thank you again for saying yes to receiving this incredible award.
No one is more deserving of this honor than you.
May you go from strength to strength,
I'm so proud of you and so happy that we are honoring you with a lifetime achievement. It is lifetime up until now, and we look forward to many, many more things, great things from you moving into the future. Mazal Tov.
Good evening, and Mazel Tov to my dear friend, Beth Mann. So, I've done some public speaking over the years, but this may be the most daunting speech I've ever written. No one is more eloquent than Beth. And frankly, all of my best speeches were either written, edited, or inspired by Beth. I am incredibly honored to be presenting Beth with a beautiful Havdalah set. Havdalah is performed at the conclusion of Shabbat and holidays to separate the holy from the mundane. This is the perfect metaphor for Beth. Every interaction, Shabbat message, book suggestion, or conversation with Beth challenged me to consider how I can strive to make the mundane become holy. As evidenced here tonight, Beth inspires everyone around her to be transformative as individuals, as leaders, and as a community. During Havdalah, we use wine for sanctification, spices to awaken our senses, and a light that from a braided candle to perform the ceremony. It is this powerful flame of light that is unique to Havdalah. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs reminds us that God created light on the very first day. However, at Havdalah, we are bringing light into the world on the 8th day, therefore making us God's partners in the work of creation each and every week. Rabbi Sachs says, "This is a vision of great beauty. It sees the world as a place of order in which everything has its place and dignity within the richly differentiated tapestry of creation." The world can be a challenging place, as we all know, but God asks humankind to guard and maintain the light and order of creation, respect its boundaries, and preserve it for generations to come. Beth has been the guiding light for all of us. She has shown us the way to be God's partner through acts of tikkun olam and chesed, treating everyone with respect and kindness. Beth has a unique ability to inspire others to be holy, to light the Havdalah candle in each of us. The Yad is another symbol of partnership with God, so it came as no surprise to me that Beth was the first woman to read Torah here at Town and Village. The Yad is a physical connection between the reader and the holy words on the scroll, and you have brought each of us closer to God and Torah. So Beth, no one is more deserving of these gifts and this honor than you. We all love you so much, and may you go from Havdalah to Havdalah each and every week with strength and the light to keep inspiring us all to follow your example and leave this world a better place.
I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. First of all, thank you for risking your lives to be here tonight. There aren't many things we would do that for. I'm glad you thought this was one of them. Eric and Gail, two people who I love deeply and who mean so much to me, as everyone here does. Thank you so much for making the trip and for your beautiful, kind words. And I know I was hard to supervise. I've always been, I always will be. So this is quite overwhelming for me. People know that I like to be in the background. I really prefer it there. My family and friends who are here with me, you have no idea how much I love you and thank you. And that's everyone here. You've donated so generously to this fabulous community, and I want to tell you it's money well spent. And you give me joy and love every day of my life. I also want to honor Sarah Jane and Ben, who are extraordinary people and leaders. It's an honor for me to be included with the two of you. And it's a giant task to thank all the people who put this together. And I will try to thank them all. I'll continue to do that. And I know what that effort is like. I'm looking at people who have done this before with me, for others. And I want everyone to know that anyone I encourage to be an honoree, I apologize. I feel your pain. When I was told the name of this award, I was actually filled with terror. I called my doctor and said, "Is there something you're not telling me?" And then my thoughts darkened. And I remembered that great line from the movie Havana when Robert Redford says to Alan Arkin, "A funny thing happened to me last week. I realized I wasn't going to die young." But aside from the morbidity, I also appreciate that in my lifetime, as part of this wonderful synagogue community, I've been given a sacred gift that keeps on giving. I see it in the faces of everyone here, the faces we will soon see on the video, and all those who have touched my life all along the way. I've been privileged to know the finest people, to see the greatest kindness, and to learn what it means to be part of a thriving and caring community. And it has strengthened me as I've become part of other communities, many of which are represented here today, and I love you all. Together we travel to the far reaches of the earth and witness the true meaning of the global Jewish community. We became bound to each other by our shared encounters with the power of the collective. Our experiences taught us that Kehillah, community, only becomes Kedosha, holy, not by its mere existence, but by how we transform that existence into acts of chesed, loving kindness, and tzedakah, creating a just balance by being charitable in thought and in deed, devoting to repairing the shattered fragments of our world. It's special for me to be presenting this part of the evening in memory of those precious souls whom we lost during the pandemic. Many of those whose names and faces you will see are people whom I have known for my entire life. Many influence me in ways for which I am forever grateful. All of them are venerated for what they brought to this community, making this a Kehillah Kedosha, a holy community. The people who founded and built this synagogue community, my parents, my beloved parents of blessed memory, did something that was very rare in synagogues in that day. and perhaps still rare today. These builders instinctively knew that in order to sustain and propel this community into the future, they needed to bring along prospective new leaders, not later, but right then as they were leading. Before all the catchy industry phrases were invented, here on 14th Street, this synagogue was exemplar of how leaders lead. Newer and younger leaders like myself didn't have to wait to hold important positions and have a voice in designing the future. And the seasoned leaders led alongside us, mentoring and developing intergenerational and loving friendships. It is a lesson I continually learn as I work in the Jewish community. Our task today is the same. This was never a synagogue to rest on its laurels. It became the first egalitarian, traditional, conservative synagogue in Manhattan, if not the country, and never looked back. It anchors this community because as the East Village burgeoned, we needed to grow with it. It is a trusted partner to the many faith communities that surround us. And our Sacred Sounds program is just one example, bringing together the gorgeous mosaic of religions in our midst. I will never forget the Shabbat following the murders at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. This sanctuary was filled to the brim, not only with our own members, but with members from the Christian, Muslim, Hindu, and other faith-based institutions that are our neighbors and true friends. We have a sacred obligation to illuminate our present and to design for the future, not because of lofty goals, which we have, but simply because we're good at it. As my mother succinctly taught me, those who can should. It's the rationale that led to the best things in my life. We may be under the radar in some ways, but we will never let that stop us from doing what we do best. Our community family, welcomed in 1,001 ways, that transforms lives, that is our greatest reward. As you watch and commemorate this tribute to our beloved members lost during the pandemic, we honor their memory by being their best hope for the future. If we follow their example well, we will continually earn our title of Kehillah Kadosha. May their memories be a blessing. Thank you so much for being here tonight. You have no idea what it means to us all, and to me in particular. Now see the faces of our greatest teachers and leaders, whom we honor and remember here tonight.
Thank you. Once again, let's take a moment to acknowledge our two honorees, Sarah Jane Sachs and Beth Mann. And let me just say, still feeling inadequate. Yeah. Did you see those videos? Are you kidding me? I sang a song and I looked good in a suit, but these two, come on. And to add insult to injury, now I have to introduce TNV's Young Leadership Award winner. Talk about salt on a wound. The Young Leadership Award is a way for TNV to thank younger members of our community who have taken on leadership roles that help us identify and meet the needs of their peers in order to support and grow the younger members of our community. And if I say younger one more time, I'm going to crumble into dust. So here's Ben's video.
Where's the hollow? Is what my dad said, and then I want to open it up and sit down. Yay! And there's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur. No one keeping me from knocking at my door, and he wants to have Shabbat with me. Let's just pretend these are real. Okay. So like this song that I would do if I was born. Oh. This one ran. I need to take this candle and light it.
It's with great honor and pleasure that I get to present Ben Cranes with this year's Young Leadership Award. Ben's commitment to our shul is truly commendable. With serving on the board since 2020, and more recently chairing the newly formed Young Family Committee, he ensures that Town and Village Synagogue remain a vibrant and welcoming place for all, especially for us young families. But to me, one of Ben's most remarkable qualities is his warm, outgoing, and friendly demeanor. He has the ability to make anyone he speaks to not just feel at ease, but feel included and valued from the moment he says hello. No doubt, this skill is paramount to the grassroots way he's helped build and strengthen the young family part of our community. Just this past Shabbat, I capitalized on this skill of Ben's, directing him towards a new young family who had shown up a little too late for Shabbat B'Yachad services, but just in time for Kiddush. I knew Ben would easily and enthusiastically approach them, introduce himself, and subsequently connect them with other families and members. Within minutes, this new family had met the 4 other young families at shul that day, and our kids were already playing with one another. Ben doesn't stop at just engaging young families within shul. Through personal invitations to come hang out at the playground or at his apartment after Kiddush, thank you, Sarah, he fosters connections and creates a sense of belonging within our community. This personal outreach is essential for organically growing the young family membership in a sustainable way. The adage that it takes a village, okay, a town and village, to raise kids is quite true, especially when raising shul kids. When young families come to shul for Shabbat, it can be challenging to help our children feel at home while also having time for us parents to get our own meaningful davening in. So on several occasions, Ben has lovingly pushed us adults back into the sanctuary to daven while he takes on watching everyone's kids. That way, each parent can get their much-needed spiritual time. And of course, we relieve him of watching duties so he can get his own davening in as well. For the kids, when there's no scheduled Shabbat B'Yachad services, Ben will go grab the big foam siddur himself and lead the kids in song and prayer. Beyond focusing within young families, Ben is committed to strengthening the intergenerational connections that are important for the future of our shul. His suggestion for pairing empty nesters with young families for Shabbat dinners will not only help young families with getting dinner on the table at the end of the long week, but more importantly, help strengthen our wider community as a whole. In recognition of your dedication and commitment to enriching our shul community, I proudly present you with this gift.
Oh, you mean this one?
As a token of our appreciation for your leadership. Please join me in congratulating Ben on this very well-deserved honor.
I cry at commercials. And not expect it to be. That's very cute. Thank you, Evelyn. Yashar Kochek, Beth and Sarah Jane. Thank you to my dad, Bach, as the children call him, my mom, Oma, who takes care of our children all week and is just astounding. The Annas, my brothers, Dan and Mike. Sarah, thank you to my family for molding my Jewish character. Thanks for Sarah for growing with me hand in hand. Thanks to my friends, Andrew, Sid, Emily, Ken, Leor, for joining us tonight. Thanks to my grandparents, Evelyn and Sydney, Walter, and Mimi, who fled Vienna, who fought in Normandy and insisted on passing the Jewish flame to my parents. Mimi and Eliza, they're 4.5 and 1.5, they were in the video. They beg each week to come to shul. They want to see their best friends, and their best friends since infancy, while feasting on string cheese. They want to gather under my tallis and recite V'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart while munching on candy. They stare in awe of the Torahs inside this ark, which Sarah Jane, I didn't even realize you polished, thank you. Because they witness the reverence with which we all hold fast to our tradition, and because of the grape juice they're fed on the bima. They adore Kiddush when they get their own chairs at their own table and plate their own lunch and chase around their own synagogue while feasting on cantaloupe and lox, and when I'm not looking, cookies and M&Ms. And this whole time, all of our children are internalizing what a thriving community looks like. Ours is warm and unpretentious, genuinely diverse, intensely intellectual. We gather each week to bask in this inherited wisdom-filled tradition and find new ways to advance it forward. We're doing so well. Keep it up, L'dor V'dor.
I would like to offer our, excuse me, on behalf of the entire congregation, we say thank you. Thank you to everyone who is here this evening, either here in person or on Zoom, who are the supporters of this community, who make it possible for us to be here, for the lights to be on, for us to have this opportunity to share each other's presence and company. In this place that we so lovingly call our home. I'm also so deeply proud of this community for the fact that we are remembering all those whom we lost these last few years. It has taken its toll, and the memories that we have of these wonderful individuals who graced this community for so many years, will strengthen us and keep us going for generations to come, as the cantor and choir so beautifully sang, L'Dor Vador. Thank you, David, for, first of all, we want to also welcome Hugh Polycombe, who his first time back, at least visually, in shul after 4 months, and it is a milestone for him and for all of us in many, many ways. Thank you, David, for taking the baton from Hugh that he passed along as being our MC this evening. And in terms of bottom line, we owe a great debt of gratitude to Louise Sherby for making the journal work so beautifully. There's Louise. Oh, there you are. And helping make this evening such an incredible success. Or Debbie Hirschman, our consultant extraordinaire, Joanna Eisenstadt, who kept our office going, and my friend and my colleague, Cantor Sheena Postman, who had a hand in almost everything in preparing for this evening. I'm grateful to our honorees for this evening, for agreeing to be honored. You exemplify what we read in Pirkei Avot. Ezehu mechubad hamechabed et habriot. Who is it that we honor? One who honors all creatures, one who honors all human beings. Sarah Jane Sachs, whom we honored you, Sarah Jane, by making you work tonight. Right, but you would have had it no other way, right? Yet it was perfect because you had that sparkle, that wonderful touch that you always bring to everything that we do. And your exquisite taste makes everything we do so beautiful. So thank you for that. Ben Cranes, our Young Leadership Awardee, you are so enthusiastic and eager to rush in and embrace folks, to welcome them and make them feel home here at Town and Village, our home. And you are creating, therefore, a solid foundation for our future. Achrona Chaviva, Beth Mann, a longtime friend, without whom, as you heard in the video, I would not be here. That faithful phone call we made that one evening changed the course of our lives for the good. And we are grateful that Eric and Gail joined us this evening to pay tribute to our dear, dear friend, Beth. In just a moment, Cantor Postman and the choir will sing Odecha Ki Ani Tani. We offer thanks, Odecha. We thank God for this most important moment in our lives. The fact that we are here together, that we're able to thank God, that we're able to thank God for the presence of one another, for the incredible community that we are privileged to be part of. Odecha Ki Ani Tani. We thank God, for God has answered our prayers by sending all of you here to us tonight.
Hashem
Well, that is our show. Before I send you all downstairs to demolish the dessert table, please give a final kol hakavod to all our honorees, as well as some well-earned yashar koach to the T&V Gala Committee, our tireless Gala co-chairs, our intrepid volunteers, and to all the generous individuals who have supported the Gala Journal, which can be viewed on the T&V Gala website. Thank you to everyone who attended in person and on Zoom. Good night.